It's heavy.
It's a coordinator. You got a busted play here, and then Sanchez gets hit. The ball is loose. And
look at the fumble right here, and it's picked up on the bounce, and there he goes.
Welcome to the Fumbling the Bag podcast. Today, we're here to capstone ourselves a little sheet of paper here in which we will tally up our, wins and losses team by team throughout the year. I'm here with my co-host, as always, Andre Miller.
How y'all doing again?
Welcome back from vacation, man.
Oh, man, it was great, man. I was so happy to get away. I had so much fun, too. I didn't want to come back.
I don't blame you, man. We got work to do, though. That's the real problem. We got work and then work. So
right, and that's one of the reasons that I'm happy to be back.
Yeah, until we hit that lotto, on the book.
Right, we working on that.
We're gonna scam the book here. That's the name of the game. We're gonna sit here, shoot the shit, talk about wins, losses for each team. Most of these, obviously, if you bet 32 teams under, over, and tie that much money into it, you got a bag already. So
right.
we're just gonna go over it. It's this is our week 0. Hopefully the video works this time. We got a pod for you guys. Stored away. It's
Listen, we're working hard for you guys.
We're working on it. So we're gonna try and get this video element. I'm gonna try and get some graphics going. We're gonna have this available on YouTube. We're gonna have it available on Patreon for free. If you subscribe. That's just going to help us buy better equipment, keep the show going, and then we'll try and release possibly bonus episodes through that medium, and then I got to still figure out fucking Apple Podcasts, because I think that's what most people got is,
Yeah.
iPhones, so...
I'm still an Android guy, man.
I am too. People be treating us different, though, when they see the green text bubble. You know what I mean? They're going to be like, oh, these motherfuckers broke.
Right.
No, I just can't be on my phone all day, so sorry.
When I tell people I'm Android, they look at me like I just shot the president.
Seriously. All that shit. If I don't use a Mac, I'm like, no, I'm Windows only. I'm recording on a Windows. This is all Windows. This Android Windows family, and they think I'm crazy.
You're not.
Nah, I ain't into that cult shit. But anyways, we'll start it off here. So we'll go to our home division and talk about the home team first. You know what I mean? We got to talk about the Detroit Lions.
Do we have to?
Yeah. I mean, the Hard Knocks. We got someone, in this room here that has been influenced by Hard Knocks and thinks they'll win over 6.5 games. Do you want to tell me why?
Well, with the Lions, I know we say this every season, but I see something different. I like the coach's approach, Dan Campbell. He's a player's coach, but he's hard on the players still. I like the assistant coaches. The players seem like they're buying in. Now I know they don't have all the talent in the world, but I think last season they surprised some teams. They really did. They play hard. They play really hard, and they gotta have more talent than they did last season. So I'm going over.
Yeah,
6.5.
I just think it's a lot of drinking the Kool-Aid. Like I said, they're on Hard Knocks. I do think the offense has improved. Even just drafting Jameson Williams, you won't see him till the end of the year, but that does make a difference on the team. Signing DJ Chark, it's all about Goff at the end of the day, though. He has to perform, and every year he's basically been a bottom third tier QB. It's just, and that fucking defense, man, it's gonna give up a lot. They're gonna give up close to 30 a game again.
Their defense is bad.
I can see them getting close. I don't think they're going to be a total failure. They kept themselves close in games last year, and I don't think coaching was an issue. I just think talent-wise, no. Just don't buy into it. Don't buy into it. We'll talk about a team I will buy into, though, is Green Bay. I love over 11 wins. I think they win the division pretty mightily. They'll probably go 5-1. You get to play a pretty easy out-of-conference schedule, too, playing, Miami, New England, Jets, Buffalo. I think they win 3 of the 4 there.
Well, I do agree with you on Green Bay. Best team in the division. Usually Rodgers does very well in the regular season.
Yeah, he's regular season MVP like
He is.
every year.
You know, he's that quarterback regular season. So, they lost Devontae Adams. We talked about that in the previous show. But, Rodgers just finds a way to make the receivers good. You may not even know their names, but, they're going to catch some passes and catch some touchdowns. So I got them going over too.
Yeah, I just think like when you play in the NFC, you can cap pretty easy for wins and losses for like 3 or 4 teams because you're like, okay, these teams are going to go over. Like the rest of the teams are subpar compared to the AFC because that's going to be a lot different to cap like wins for those teams because everyone can win 10 games in the AFC, it feels like.
Yeah, it's a lot. It's a better division. I mean, a better conference.
Yeah,
It
so
really is.
I could see Green Bay cooking again. It's kind of like Tom Brady. You don't bet against fucking Aaron Rodgers, and I hate the guy. I truly do. And I think like he's gonna get to beat the Lions twice. Probably split with Minnesota because they're gonna lose Week 1 to Minnesota. Everyone's gonna freak out. And then Chicago, you're going to sweep, so...
Right. He owns Chicago and Detroit.
Yeah, remember.
He really does.
He said, I own you.
Right.
So shout out to that. We will talk about the Bears briefly here. I think I think you could give a legitimate play. Oh, I'm sorry,
my goodness,
Siri.
that's me.
That's fine. But, yeah, you can give yourself... like plus 1,200 for Bears worst record in the league.
Oh yeah.
They don't have a sustainable offense whatsoever. The best player on their defense wants to be traded. They traded their other, big defensive piece with Khalil Mack, even though he was hurt.
Yeah.
They're just going to be pretty bad all around, so I think that's a good play. Minnesota, I got them under 9.5. They'll stay competitive, but they're just one of those middling teams, too. Like, I don't know what to think about them.
Yeah, I agree with both teams. Definitely Chicago is an under. I could put my life on that one.
Yeah, I really think that.
Minnesota, they've been underachieving for quite some time to me. They do have some talent there, though, but I just don't feel right about. I never feel right about Minnesota. No matter what.
Yeah, no one does. They play like a weird brand of football where they stay close in every game too. And I think that's just mostly because like they play a conservative offense. They still run the ball more than most teams too, and
will Dalvin Cook stay healthy though? That's another question.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, if not, Madison will fill in the spot fine, and
I like him.
I don't think there's too many game changers in like running back roles when it comes to like kind of think like baseball, like a WAR. Like a running back's probably not giving you as much, in that statistical category than a quarterback. The quarterback is probably getting your wins and losses more or less, along with, your edge rushers and your offensive line. So, yeah, so over Green Bay, under the rest of the division, we will go to another great team to talk about is the Cowboys. I got them under 10. There just seems to be people hammered this one out early too because I believe it was at like 11, and you've seen 10.5. So yeah, I explain.
I'm going under. I'm sorry. I don't trust Prescott whatsoever. I think he is a solid quarterback. I think he's in the top 15 of quarterbacks, but when the money is on the table, he's not gonna grab it. He's gonna fumble it.
He does fumble. Yeah,
and Ezekiel has lost a few steps, and he'll still be the starting running back.
Did they lose one of their linemen for the year also? Did they lose Tyron Smith? I don't know who they lost someone. I just remember seeing that in the stratosphere of news.
I believe it was Smith, and that's going to be a challenge. But you know what? Their defense is really good, though. I will say that.
Yeah, Diggs will, possibly get 10 picks again, but also give up 1,000 yards in the air.
He's going to give up some touches.
It's just the way he plays it so aggressive, I think, and I think in that conference, year in and year out, they always play close with each other. It doesn't matter if it's Dallas playing Washington, Washington playing Philly, Philly playing New York. They always play each other close. So I think like most of the time these teams are going to go, 4-2 in the division, 3-3, 2-4. So
Yes.
and their out of conference schedule, they always fucking get killed.
Oh yes, yes. I mean, every team is a rival team, so they play each other really tough. But you know who I got in our division. But I just think that Dallas is constantly overrated every single year.
And I think, the books do, put that into play because you just get the average person that's like, Dallas, I'm just going to bet this. Like, and it's another thing. It's just like you're tying money up for a majority of the year. Like, you're tying money up for 4 months with these kind of bets. So it's like, they're going to want to get the books want to get their money on these teams. And, a couple of them will hit your overs. But Dallas isn't one of them, and I also don't believe Philly is one of them. I got them under 9.5 on DraftKings Sportsbook at plus 135, and I think that's a really good play. Tell me why it's not.
Well,
I think I know they're a great team. I know they're great.
well, I wouldn't say great. I'll say very good on paper right now.
Yeah, on paper they're.
We have to see what the quarterback does, what Hurt does. I think he'll play with more confidence this year, though.
Yeah.
And I think that he has worked on his passing ability.
I hope so. Like,
Yeah. We already know he can run.
I just remember last year people being like, they should bench him.
Oh, heck no.
No, for Gardner Minshew, no.
Exactly.
He won you guys 9 games last year, got you to a playoff, and then you got whooped by Tampa. Happens.
That was going to happen. Too.
that was bound to happen, and the team's been pretty banged up the last 2 years, so
yes.
You're gonna get a healthy O-line, healthy defense.
He has a lot of weapons.
I just-
offensively,
yeah,
and
oh,
receivers.
yeah,
Oh
I just-
my goodness, man.
It's just about getting the ball to them, and I think their backfield too. Like I know I just said running backs don't matter, but they don't have any depth there. They said Gainwell's been taking RB1 reps. Like that's a sign of concern, but he'll probably be a scat back, catch a lot of passes this year. And then I just think like Miles Sanders is, he's due for a good year, but he hasn't shown it in 4 years. So,
well, they're going to be dangerous though. I mean, the quarterback can run, as well. So
And
he
that's-
makes a lot of plays, running. I hope he doesn't get hurt because that'll be
then it's the end of it. Yeah, then it's the end of this. Or, maybe Gardner is throwing bombs to A.J. Brown against the team I think who is winning the division. I love the Commanders over 8. I think they're winning the division. I'm a Carson Wentz apologizer. I still think he's okay. I think the defense is going to improve from last year. They were fucking god awful, but they're going to be back, man. I think they'll hang in a lot of these games, unlike last year. Over 8 there for me.
I'm going to have to disagree with that one. I do believe that, they will be a better team. The defense, they have a lot of beasts on that defensive side.
Yeah, you got,
My
Young,
thing, though-
Sweat.
Oh my goodness, man. The list
Got
goes
some
on
guys.
and on.
You got some guys on that defense, but
Carson Wentz, though, I cannot rely on him. Even in Philly, even his first couple years, he played better.
yeah.
But then again, I was like, there's something missing, and we saw that. His last year at Philly and at the Colts. There's a reason the Colts got rid of him.
It is. And it is. They wanted, a system guy who could get the ball downfield to players. He couldn't do
Yes.
it, but I like the arrangement of guys they have. I mean, Brian Robinson just got shot, but he's going to be RB1. Gibson's getting demoted, but he can still play, that role with McKissick where he catches balls out of the backfield. Shit, he can line up in the slot even. Like, he's not a bad player, I don't believe. And you're going to have Curtis Samuel come back. You got Logan Thomas that's supposed to play in the first couple weeks, I think. And you got my guy Terry. And I just think the offense, they'll hang in there. It really does depend on just like game management by Ron Rivera and that defense coming out. I think they can do it. I think they go 9-8, win the division. I think Dallas and Philly will have off years.
Well, I will say this. I think that division is kind of up for grabs. Only because these teams have to prove themselves.
Exactly.
You know?
And then, like, I got New York under 8. I just think there's always a lot of hype on that. And we won't even have to really get too into that.
I agree with you on that. I think they will be improved, but I think they're still, a bottom tier team in that division.
Agreed.
But they'll compete though. They will compete.
Yeah, I definitely agree. Especially early in the year, they tend to compete in the first 5 or 6 games, and then you'll look by week 10 and it's like, wow, they're 3-7. What happened? What happened? Danny Dimes.
Right.
We'll move on. We'll go to the next team. I think this one, I might actually go and bet this. And it is the Rams over 10.5 for a reigning Super Bowl champion to be like 11 games will win the division in a division that's weaker this year.
Yes.
I think that's almost a
with you.
steal.
I took them over. What was that? 10.5.
Yeah, I
Yes.
seen 10.5.
That was easy for me. Like I said before, I just think that they're going to be playing with more confidence and more exuberance.
Yeah,
and the team is a tad bit different
they're
because they
they're
picked up some players.
gelled together. Like they spent everything. They spent everything to get these players they have. They have a first ballot Hall of Fame defensive tackle.
Yes.
They have possibly one of the best corners of the newer generation. I'd say Richard Sherman was the last generation, and then like Darrelle Revis, obviously before him, and signing Bobby Wagner over Von Miller, I think that's a better signing as well.
Great pickup.
So I just think and then you lose OBJ, but you get Allen Robinson the third.
Yeah.
Cam Akers is going to be healthy. There's some question marks around Stafford's arm and that. But in that weaker division, he doesn't have to play Russ 2 times a year.
Right.
Garoppolo's not going to be the quarterback probably in San Francisco. He'll be the backup to Lance. And then Arizona is a mess. I just see 10.5 all day.
Easy pick for me.
How do you feel about San Francisco this year? I got them right at 10-7, so I think I would play the under there.
I believe that San Fran. Well, we know how their defense is.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, they're very good defensively. Because of this new quarterback, they still have weapons. They still have weapons. He has people to pass it to.
Yeah.
So they still have a squad, on that offensive end. But I think that their defense is going to be more stronger than their offense. Our offense might pick it up, maybe.
I think that's what I'm thinking.
6.
Yeah, after game 6 or 7. So
yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised to see them. Yeah, 3-3, 2-4.
Yes.
Will they make an impactful run? However, it's hard for me to really quantify that, especially with question marks at QB. I mean, you have an offensive playmaking genius with Shanahan.
Yes, and that's what I'm kind of laying my hat on. That's why I got them going over.
Fair, yeah. So you didn't have them winning the division though, right? You just have them wild card, wild card contender. Yeah, that's fair. That's kind of where I have them too.
They're going to be fun to watch too, I believe.
Yeah, and I got another one I think you could hit the over on is Seattle over 5.5. I know this sounds stupid because Geno Smith is about to be their QB, and I don't think they have a serviceable running back besides DJ Dallas to start the year.
Yes,
it's gonna be a mess. But these teams just pick up wins. It's a grown man league. I can see them going 6-11. They'll draft in the top 10.
Well, it's going to be a rough season for them, I think. But I think what they still have on their side is playing in Seattle. I mean, that's still a tough place to play. They still have some players, but that quarterback position, though, that's precisely why I got them going under because of Geno Smith.
Yeah, I mean, and they have one of the worst offensive lines in recent history. I mean, that's why Russell Wilson wanted out of there was Pete Carroll's play calling pissed him right off,
why is he still play calling?
Because I
still don't understand.
I remember hearing about this. It was after that Buffalo shootout game where they lost, or it was 45-38 or something.
Yeah.
And he's like, we're not doing that anymore. And it's like, why? He kept you in the game.
Exactly.
He kept you in the game. So that's You know, I can see that being a reason. Arizona under 8.5, by the way, too. We'll just mull over that.
I mean, Kyler Murray, he is the spoon that stirs the coffee, and if he's not playing well, we saw last year how it was when he wasn't playing well.
And once he's not mobile too, because he will get hurt, it's kind of like Michael Vick. It's like if he loses his mobility, he's an okay passer, like he's above average. He just, the moment he gets hurt and is forced to stay in the pocket, it's kind of game over for them.
I see female tendencies from him too.
Yeah,
like he will get really mad if things don't go his way.
His whole thing was like, I need to get paid like everyone else, and
That's understandable.
He wanted to walk. He definitely was trying to walk. With all the off-season drama, like you said, that's just like female tendencies, and it's not real like leadership quality.
Exactly,
and you need
man.
you need a leader at that position if you want to win football games. So,
and I'm wondering, is the team behind him because of all the drama? We'll see.
It'll be hard to, I mean, I think a lot of it, most of these guys they play independently for themselves. I don't think they play for their QB. I think that's a part of the game that gets a little misconstrued as like, oh, I'm playing for this guy. I'm going to play. I think they try and play it to their potential every single week.
Yes.
And even though they might get frustrated, I don't think like him having a bunch of, it's like Rodgers every year, like always in the tabloids, but like when it comes, push to shove, it's game time.
Everybody's playing,
they're playing,
up to par.
So
yes, good point.
We'll leave it at that. Tampa Bay. Tom, there's a guy that's having some weird issues right now. Is he getting divorced or what's going on? It looked like he got some facial, like a facelift. He got the Simon Cowell, like he looked kind of fucked up, honestly.
That's why he came back late. I mean, he took he took a week off, week and a half, couple weeks maybe.
It was, some people speculated Masked Singer.
Oh, yes, they were saying that. You're right.
And he said no, but who the fuck really knows with this guy? I mean,
he's going to be ready to play, man.
He's just a fucking, he's a warrior. The guy's 44. Like, yeah, maybe he wanted the off season off for once. I mean, he doesn't have to. And I think people get that fucked up too. Like, people legit think like if you're a professional athlete, all you should care about is playing your game. These guys got lives out of here. Like.
Yeah. But you know what? If it's anybody, he's the closest to that, though.
Yeah.
Like, just football. He eats and drinks football.
Like, that's all he does. So for him to be away from it is strange, but, like,
right.
I still think the team's strong. I still think they are in a very weak division where they can take advantage of teams, and I think they'll go over 11.5. And I know I like this number because when I see 85% of people betting the under 11.5, I tend to, think, like, they'll have buyer's remorse at the end of the year because, like, because they read into the tabloids too much.
Exactly. I watch what the public is betting all the time. And most of the time, it depends. But most of the time, I go against the public.
Yeah.
Especially with Tampa Bay and God at quarterback.
Exactly. Like
they're going to get all types of victories. They may vie for the best record in the league. Seriously.
I seriously agree there too. It's just they're always a force to be reckoned with, and this is once again Tom Brady's last hurrah. He wouldn't have came back if he didn't think he could win.
Yes,
like he's not gonna go out 8-9 or something. No, he's gonna go out in like the NFC Championship game or in the Super Bowl, like
blaze of glory.
Yeah, he has to.
I think he plays one more year too. But that's another stroke.
Fuck. That's a lot of football to play, man.
It is.
I got another good one. I really like New Orleans over 8.5 as well. I think they just have a revamped team. They have one of the better offensive lines. Alvin Kamara's in no trouble. You get Jameis Winston back. They have a loaded wide receiver core all of a sudden. And that defense, like I've told you on the last show, they're so overpaid. They literally pay the luxury tax. Like, them guys are set. They're stacked.
I mean, I somewhat agree with you. I took the under, though, only because of famous Jameis. And I've said this, when we had our division show. I don't know. I mean, he came out really, really well in last season. He was really hot before he got hurt.
Yeah, remember
I had him as a fantasy football guy.
Yeah, remember they smoked the Packers week 1. Remember they had to play in
Yes.
Jacksonville or whatever. I don't remember the reason, but
Oh yeah, they did smoke them.
they smoked them 42-3 or something.
But yeah. But I'm looking at their schedule too. I'm like, ooh, it was a lot of good games. We really don't know until they play the games though.
Yeah.
And they do match up well with some of these teams. But I think even if they win 8 games, that's pretty good for them.
I think, they're a middling team. Like I just see it very on the spectrum of they will win 8 or 9. That's why it is capped, on DraftKings at 8.5.
Yes.
You can take an alternate wherever you want. Shit, you can bet these teams to win 12 if you want. You want
Yes.
some real money.
Yeah.
You got a real itch.
For real. I mean, we're going to see about New Orleans. I'm excited to watch them, though, because they are an exciting team.
Yeah, they'll be cool. They'll be fun. I think, they were one of those teams last year. Remember, I just said when they're underdog, bet it, and when they're a favorite, fade it. And it seemed to work out like 70% of the time. It's weird.
Yes, and it's crazy that certain teams that they play, they have their number.
Yeah.
Like Tom Brady.
Tom Brady, they have his number.
Yes.
They're going for, like 5 or 6 in a row now this year. But yeah, they'll be fun. I'm really excited to watch some of their games. And now we got to talk real quick about 2 teams I really don't give a shit about, and that's Carolina, even though I love playing them on Madden. Ever since I downloaded Madden, I've been playing them nonstop. I got fucking smoked by someone the other day, though. It's funny because people have been bitching about just the game in general. It's pretty glitchy, man. I've seen some silly ones I'll show you later. And I had one. I was playing, against the Bills. I was Carolina. I threw a pass to whoever, DJ Moore. He literally just clipped right through the guy trying to put the truck on me, and I just scored like a 90-yarder. I quit 10 minutes later because I was already behind pretty badly. I was like, oh, this might be my big break. I was already down like 21-0, and then they scored. Guys playing with Josh fucking Allen, cheat code, just throw it to Dawson Knox off posts and stuff. They'll score. And I quit shortly after, but I was like, all right, I got one. But I like them over 6.5 this year.
Mayfield's starting, right?
Yeah, that's great. Better than Darnold. Like I watched them.
He is.
I watched
I
that.
like him better.
Yeah, and I actually watched that Buffalo Carolina preseason game, and he was throwing dimes.
Yeah.
I think people, underestimate how good he really is because he's been so injury prone, and then everything with the media, he's people say he's a bad locker room presence. I truly don't believe that. I just think people are mad that it's him.
I think that's a lot of hype. I sort of like Mayfield. I want him to do well in the league, but I have them going under.
Yeah.
Because I can't trust McCaffrey. I don't know is he going to stay healthy. I like their team. DJ Moore is a beast.
Yeah, if they lose Mayfield also, then it's like, okay, Darnold's gone for weeks. Corral's gone for the season. It's gonna be PJ Walker. What, are you gonna sign Cam Newton again? That went real fucking south immediately. I remember betting that every week. I'm like, this is bad. This is gonna be real
I think
bad.
that's the last season killed Cam Newton's chance to play in the league.
Oh,
season.
for sure. And I think guys like Brian Burns need to have a rebound season this year too, but when you're always on the field, it's kind of hard to shine. you got to have some sort of offense help you out. And Atlanta, I think we both have it under 4.5 or 5.5. We both project them to be very poor teams this year. They actually have strong cornerbacks, but
they could beat the Bears at home though.
Yeah, they do.
It's a tie on who's going to be the worst team now.
And that's the other thing about the league with adding that extra game. Mm-hmm. The variance of teams now dramatically shifts because people are still in that 16-game mindset.
Right.
Oh, it's only 5.5. Smash it. Smash the over.
Yeah.
We got an extra game now. You can easily go 6-11, especially if the last 2 weeks are dud teams playing each other.
Exactly. Some of these teams some of these worse off teams are probably gonna go over only because you have that extra game.
Yeah,
and,
seriously.
The teams may not play their best players if they're already in the playoffs. They already know where they're at, what seed they're in.
Look at even Detroit, Green Bay week 18 last year. they're starting, Jordan Love, like,
Yes, exactly.
going in a shootout, giving the Lions a meaningless win when if it would have mattered in any sort of capacity, Rodgers is out on that field and they're fucking burying the Lions. Just hate to say it, but
And there's a possibility that the Lions could win that last game this season.
yeah, they always play week 18 or
Yeah,
18, 17, whatever you want to call it now, like the last week, but they always play each other, so you could see that, you could see Green Bay very easily losing that if they're already won the division, like.
And that could get the Lions over the hump.
That too. And I hope not, but I don't think so. But it'd be a good time to hedge if they're like right at 6 wins. Just go and bet go and bet the other side.
We can hedge.
We can't. You can hedge on these. You might not think that, but you can. And we'll go to my favorite team in the world next. I hate to break it to everyone. I got Buffalo going 11-6 this year. Betting over 11.5 is for fools. They have a very, very tough schedule. Look at the first 8 weeks. I mean, gauntlet. Gauntlet.
You know what? I got them going over. I think they're going to vie for the best record in the league. I think they will get the best record in the league. I got them at least winning 12 games. They could go 12-5, maybe 13-4. I know they got a tough schedule, but they're tough.
They are.
They are tough. Their defense comes to play every game. You know what the offense does.
Yeah.
I mean, it's going to be tough on teams to try to beat them.
I think the main reason they can lose games is like just being on the road in big environments. And especially that rushing defense really needs improvement still. We've yet to see it. I mean, teams, they technically had the best rushing defense last year, even though they were gashed a bunch. Like, the Patriots fucked them up once. The Colts ran all over them.
Well, just that playoff game, too, man, against Kansas City.
They got thrown all over.
Whoa, yeah.
So, it's still a suspect defense. I mean, they didn't have Trey White for that portion of the season once he left. I believe it was Thanksgiving he got hurt on, which, that's going to happen. Like, you just,
Injuries,
when you bet these kind of things, you just hope, like, injuries, you don't have significant injuries to a player. And I think that's why I lean under on a lot of these type of bets, too, because if you lose Josh Allen, they're not winning 12 games.
Oh, man, it's a done deal.
Even
man.
if you lose him for 4 weeks, like,
Right.
you're probably not winning 12.
And that, that could happen, as much as he, likes to run. He only really truly runs when he's in trouble, though. Most of the time.
Until I think it's kind of like the Eli thing. When it's time to play for something meaningful, he'll come out and play.
Yes, and that's why I like them to win, more than 11 games, because he plays hard and he wants to win. And I think he wants to prove to the league also that he is not a fluke.
I swear, everyone thinks that too. But we'll move on from that. We got half the league still to hit. I'm going to hit the rest of the division pretty quickly, though. Okay. I got Miami over 9. I think they're a play-in team. They'll play in 10-7. They've made a lot of improvements. This is the year Tua does it, everyone. I hate him too, but he'll do it. New England under 8.5. And I got the Jets over 5.5. Shout out Zach Wilson.
Okay, so I have Miami over as well.
Mm-hmm.
The Jets, no way, under all the way. And what was that last team you said? You mentioned
New England.
New England. I have New England under as well. I think for some reason I see New England digressing this year.
I do. I don't know why I do. They're always they're going to be a sneaky team for the next few years because they don't have like a solidified, stud QB, but they have like the greatest coach. I don't know, possibly since
Yes, maybe in history.
Yeah, he's up there.
I mean,
he's right up there.
He is a top 3 coach of,
Yeah, he's right there with Lombardi and,
yes.
Madden.
But you know what? I like Matt Jones, though. I think Matt Jones is going to be a heck of a quarterback as time moves on.
Yeah.
But I just think they I don't know, that division, too. I don't know. And I saw their schedule. It's kind of rough.
Yeah, I mean, they play, the Lions, Minnesota. I like that out-of-conference schedule, but... and they also have to play like Baltimore, Pittsburgh, Cincy, Cleveland.
Yes.
But that's the thing is, we'll get to Cleveland in a minute. you know, there's question marks surrounding some of these teams still that, you know, the odds makers have to cap for. And I always think they just overestimate teams people want to bet on and then underestimate teams that people are down on. You know, I think the Jets at 5.5 is a clear, it's a slight to them, but it's about the min they could price them at. Like, you can't put them at 4.5. Everyone and their mom will smash the over on that. It's just game theory there.
Yeah,
but
that's a good point.
You know, and then they got to play. They get to play Chicago. They should beat Chicago. They have a chance to beat Detroit. I mean, they can beat a team any given week. Shit, they can even beat the Bills. I don't think they will, but they could technically.
They're gonna play them tough. It's gonna be one of those games where they play them very tough.
Yeah, they'll
Bills.
probably. Yeah, so you know, I got the Jets over 5.5. I don't know why. I just tend to believe those bottom tier teams will just kind of barely meet the cusp and win like 6
Some of
games.
those teams are gonna, you know, prove me wrong.
Oh yeah, I mean,
And prove the public wrong too.
and we'll come back to this obviously at the end of the year, kind of see where we lied with it.
Yeah.
and,
Oh man, that's
you know,
gonna be...
that'll be fun. I think we're mostly on point, but you got to take your shots too. And we'll go to the next set of teams in the what's this, AFC North.
Okay.
I like myself Baltimore over 9.5. I know that's a very square play. Most people got them winning the division, me included. Tell me why you believe the same or the opposite.
I believe the opposite.
Oh man,
I checked their schedule out too. That division is going to be really tough. I don't have a good. I mean, I think they are going to be a playoff team. Don't get me wrong. But
you're kind of right there with the 9 and 8 kind of thing.
I'm
they're
in
just
that
right
area.
there.
You know, I'm not saying that they're gonna suck. They're definitely going to win some games. Anytime you have Lamar, if he can stay healthy.
They have to have a healthy team when they play Cincy, because last year they got smoked by Cincy both games.
Yes, and that's the thing. I think this division, the teams are going to beat up on each other. I really do believe that.
Yeah, kind of just like with the NFC East.
Exactly.
Like they play close. These teams play close, and you'll see teams win on weeks they're 6.5 point dogs when they shouldn't have been. Like,
oh yeah,
I always like
It'll be in a
myself
close game. Right?
Yeah, I like myself a nice cover here and there on some of those.
We all like
on
the
some
covers.
of those. Yeah, on those.
As long as we bet in the right one.
Yeah, on those big numbers in a divisional matchup, I don't mind taking those.
Right.
I got Pittsburgh under 7.5. It's the question marks at QB. The rest of the team is solid. Like, I could see, like, a max, they'll win 9 games, but I got them right at 7 and 10.
You're not on the Trubisky train?
Fuck no. Come on, man.
I
He won
agree
the
with
starting job. He did win it.
He
but
did. He probably deserved it too. I don't know if that's a good or bad thing, but I got them under as well.
Yeah.
I can't put my hat on the quarterback position right now, and it's just, you know, they've been going through some change. Their defense will still be, you know, okay.
Defense is solid. Offensive line's bad, but they have a lot of playmakers. Like,
They do.
George Pickens might be,
Yeah.
you know, a new little toy for Trubinsky to play with. Najee should still get a lot of work in
Right.
the backfield. Especially, people say he won't get the receiving work, but I think he will still. Trubinsky can't throw the ball downfield. We all know that.
Right, exactly. So yeah, I got them going under though, but they'll be competitive. They'll be another competitive team.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if they go over though too.
Yeah, yeah, it's one of those I wouldn't be surprised, and I think that's why you have to cap it at some point. And you're just like, well, if in my case, I have 3 of these teams in this division over. Which team's going to be the under? It has to be them, because I got Cincy over 10. I think they'll win. I think they'll win their division again. I think they improved.
Oh, definitely.
You can't hate on Joe Cool, and you know, this is one of those teams. It could be a very well, you know, easy under, but my eyes, you know, I seen how they performed last year. Like, I watched them play Detroit, smash them. I watched them beat Tennessee in the playoffs.
We know how they play in the trenches, and I think that you know, last season's run has prepared them for this season and the division.
That offensive line better be fucking good, because I mean,
it'll
remember
be
how
a lot
bad
better
he
than
got
last
smashed
season.
so bad in that
Yeah.
fucking Tennessee game. It was a joke that Tennessee didn't win that game. They gave them that game.
They did. But he made plays though.
Oh,
Even running away, from running for his life, he made some plays.
Made
Joe
some
Cool
plays.
did.
Oh hell yeah!
I think they going to go over, and I think they do win the division.
I hope.
Seriously.
I hope so. I mean, it's them or Baltimore I'm rooting for because the real one I'm really worried about is Cleveland. I got them over 8.5, and my reasoning is yes, Deshaun Watson is gonna serve a majority of the year suspended.
Right.
However, Brissett is serviceable. They got a very good offensive line. They're going to play some close games in the division. They might get a few, barn burners because of weather, the snow, whatever.
Right.
And then you get those 6 games with Watson back, and you just hope they're like, I don't know, 5-6 at that point, and they win, they go 4-2 to end the year. I could see some shit like that happening, like from a mile away.
That is a lot of hope, because Brissett is serviceable, like you said, though, and their running game and offensive line, they're gonna do their thing, man. They're gonna play at a certain pace too. I think they're gonna try to pace it out before Watson comes back, but we don't know how Watson's gonna be when he comes back. He's been out of the league for what? It's gonna be a year and a half,
Almost 2, yeah.
Yeah, so I got them under.
It's
now.
a fair one. I just think like everyone is going to the window to bet the under on that.
Yeah.
And that's just one I feel like that's like the sucker bet is go bet the under on Cleveland because the superstar suspended.
True.
So I
What's your under? Because mine's is I got it at 8.5.
yeah 8.5 is I got over 8.5. Yep.
Okay. Yeah, they're gonna hover around 8,
Yeah.
maybe 9. That's one of those things where it's maybe a toss up.
They'll be right. Most of these are toss ups. In my opinion, like the only one that really isn't a toss up to me that I'm probably gonna go bet is that Chicago worst record in the league. I love that at 12-1. That is probably my hands down favorite bet.
That's a very good bet.
They're gonna fucking stink, even though they're in a mediocre division. We'll move on. We got to talk about this train wreck of a division real quick, and that's the AFC South. I got Tennessee regressing under 9. Indianapolis over 10. They're going to win the division. People are, this is probably my sucker one, Jags under 6.5. They could improve. I just don't see it yet. And I love Houston over 4.5.
The only thing we disagree on is Houston. The rest of the teams, I'm with you.
It just,
all the overs. But the Texans, they're gonna be one of the worst teams.
Who did they beat last year? They beat Cincy or something. They beat someone that was.
They beat
good.
somebody that was good.
They
You're
beat
right.
teams. They beat teams who are good. Davis Mills gets another year in the league, more experience. They actually dropped. I don't know if you've seen this earlier. Marlon Mack's not on the team anymore.
Yeah, I
Pierce
saw
is
that.
the guy now, so we'll see how that pans out for them. And they have Brandon Cooks. I don't know much else about that. Oh, Mechie had cancer. It's
Right,
not
yeah.
good. It's not good. Prayers up to him, of course, but when things look bleak like this, once again, I tend to overestimate what the book is thinking. Oh, bad team. But it's a low number.
Automatic under, huh?
I think they win 5. I'm not like, oh, they're gonna win 7 games. I got them winning 5. I don't think that's like a far-fetched thing. So
It may not be.
we'll see in a few months.
I think I'm basing it on their history too. When they have bad teams, and they are a bad team.
Right now they are, but you
Right
got to
now.
think. Remember what I was telling you, talking about Deshaun, I was like, they had squads.
They had a squad, yeah.
6-7 years ago, they had squads on.
And they still
Performed. Yeah,
though.
they did. I mean,
And they had the coaching was different too. I did not like the coach.
they got is Lovie Smith their coach?
I believe it is. Now I'm not saying I'm in love with Lovey.
Oh no,
No pun intended.
Oh, that's bad. That's actually a recipe for disaster. But
It could be, but I think he's a better coach than the.
how
the
does
coach
he
that
have
they
a
gave up.
job in the man? For years.
Wasn't he? He was in college. He was at Illinois.
Yeah,
Fighting Illini.
Yeah, he was
he's
at
coaching
Illinois.
and they got rid of him.
They got rid. Yeah,
Or did he take the job?
He might have took the job. I mean, like, look at Harbaugh. He was looking for a job from
Yeah.
Minnesota, and they were like, nah, no thanks. And then, went right back to U of M. And now there's a
Exactly.
disaster there, as you know, between
will be a
McCarthy
disaster,
and
yes.
Cade, which is really funny to me. It's like, just start the guy. We won't talk about college here, but maybe for another podcast. But we'll talk, we'll headline it right here. We got about 10 minutes to go. We'll headline it with the AFC West. This was the hardest one for me to even
too.
pick because all these teams are good. They could all go under or over. And I have it as this. Kansas City is going to win the division again.
Okay.
Do not doubt my guy, Andy Reid. I would say he's a very good pick for Coach of the Year also at 30-1.
Okay.
My other pick would be Ron Rivera, of course, Washington guy here. It just, if it ain't broke, like, why are you trying to fix it? Like, they're gonna win games, and people, once again, this is one I think people are down on Kansas City. They're like, they're in a tough division. They're gonna bet. No, they're gonna be fine. I promise you. 11 wins for me. Raiders over 8.5. A lot of people are down on that. I got the Chargers under 10. They're gonna vastly underperform all that money they just spent, and I got Denver under 10 as well. Thoughts? What do you got for me?
Okay. Broncos, I got them going over 9.5. Their first game is against Seattle.
Yeah, I know.
Russell's gonna go ape shit.
No, I might even bet you that, just a side bet. Honestly, I think Seattle covers that game. Give me
Wow. Okay.
If
I
it
might
gets
take a
to
little taste of that one.
if it gets to 6.5, I'm smashing that come Monday. Hopefully, after week 1, I got a little bankroll because I don't
Right.
play too heavy week 1. I'll usually play like half the units I usually play on a normal
Yeah.
week, but
Yeah, I got to get the feel and vibe of the season.
week 1's always
these teams.
it's always fucked up.
yeah.
I never have a good feel until week 3 and 4, and then
Well, I have the Chargers winning the division, so I do have them, going over.
over. Yeah.
Over 10.
And
I
it's-
got Kansas City doing the same thing.
Yeah.
Going over there 10.5.
So you don't like Raiders, right?
I got them going under. I do like the. Actually, I'm sorry. I got them going over.
Oh,
I
man.
do like the Raiders.
You got the whole division going over?
Yeah, I think this is the toughest division in football. I really do believe in NFL right now.
I mean, it's a real thing you could bet, though. You could bet all 4 of those teams to go over, and I don't think that's a bad bet because three of the 4 very well could, just kind of like the NFC East. Shit, if it wasn't for Washington, I'd have all 4 of those teams going under too.
Yeah.
So I see the point because they're going to play tough football.
Yes. Plus, I was checking out the non-divisional games that these teams play, and I'm like, they're better teams than the teams that they're facing.
What is their out of conference? Who they got?
Oh man, I think they have a lot of the bad teams that we've talked about that we have going under. Some of the bad teams, and then some of the good teams. But I feel like, these they can win these games.
Yeah.
Basically.
I agree. I think I remember who they're out of conference is the NFC West, I believe, because Arizona plays them week 1. I think that's right. I could be very wrong there. So
those type of teams.
and like me and you discussed right before the show, I believe that is a weaker division than it has been the last couple years. So
yes,
I can see the AFC West, running train.
yeah, they
Run train.
they're gonna run a train.
I'm telling you, but I could bet all of those over. I just think the Chargers have incredibly high expectations, and
They kind of do.
at 10, I could see a push too, and I'm not gonna say anything's a given in this league either, but
Right. Well, see, this is why we gamble, because we think we know everything.
oh yeah, and that's
And then
why
it's
we're
all a gamble too, though.
Exactly, and that's why we're
So-
talking about this.
Right.
It's a good way to kind of go into the season thinking hey, I believe this team's going to win 11 games.
Yeah,
I can go and bet that. Let's
I mean, it's a leap of faith for me with the Chargers, because you are right. They've underachieved. They always spend money and don't do anything.
worst special teams I've ever seen,
Yeah,
man.
oh, man, that
Some
special
of
teams
those
did
years,
kill me.
it's so funny.
So I'm just hoping that they can get
Garbage.
over the underachieving hump
Yeah.
this season.
Oh, I'm right there with you. And in Denver too, that's a team that scares me. I thought they had a very good defense last year. They ranked very high in, just not allowing points per game. I think the Denver weather has something to do with it.
Oh, yes.
It's kind of weird because, Russ is going to a place where they were begging for him to cook. And now he's going to another place where he's probably not going to cook like people want him to. Like, people want him to throw the ball 40 times a game, me included. I think he could fucking win every game if they, just went to a shootout.
So you think he's capable of winning shootouts?
I still think he
with
is.
the personnel that Denver has?
I like the personnel. They're just a bunch of middling guys. They remind me of the Lions a lot, where it's
okay.
you got, really good running backs with Javonte and Melvin Gordon. And they just kind of draw that parallel at wide receiver depth, too, with Sutton and Judy. And Hamler, I believe, is the guy now since... Who got hurt? Someone got hurt for the year. One of those guys in that... Oh, Tim Patrick. That's who it was. I had to sit here and look stupid for a minute. But, yeah, I think they can win games.
They're going to win some games.
But under 10 for me. They'll go 9-8. It's that depth of division for me.
Yes.
So
it is deep.
I got, a couple more real quick. I'm going to talk about MVP. I got, my guy Josh Allen he's like a reasonable, he's a big time favorite now. He's at, 5-1, which isn't like a great price. You can find better ones at other books, but it's his year. It's my guy Rivera's year. I'm just going to, the fandom's going to come out right now. I got my guy Ron Rivera. He's going to coach.
Coach of the year, okay.
He's won
All
twice already as coach of the year with the Panthers.
Right.
Why not take these guys to the playoffs with fucking Carson Wentz? Everyone will be wowed.
Oh, he would win hands down.
He'd win hands down. So I think, and I got my guy Robinson Jr. I think you'll get a better number after he got shot. But I think you can bet him at 20-1. And I think defense, Jordan Davis, this is a guy me and you have heard about. I've been hearing about this guy for months. And then you've seen just some of the drills where he's just pounding guys.
Yes.
Yeah, he's in the trenches. So I like him at 14-1 for defensive rookie, and I do like another favorite is Derrick Henry, 4-1 comeback player of the year. Even though it's not even a comeback, he broke his foot. I hate that it's all based on injury. I think Jameis at 5.5-1 is a fair play too, if all depending on if they make the playoffs.
Well, I agree with you on the Jordan Davis thing defensively. Also, Tom Brady as my MVP.
One more time.
One more again. I think
time.
he's going to go crazy again. I have Andy Reid as my coach of the year.
I like that one. Yeah.
Yeah, because people, like you said, people think that Kansas City is going to fall off. It's just because they've made some changes. They got rid of Tyreek Hill. Or Tyreek Hill, left.
Yeah,
but he got traded.
Tyrann Mathieu gone too. Yeah,
and Matthew, yes.
So you got.
But I just think that this is where Andy Reid, does his baby impression, and he
Seriously.
just, he puts things in place offensively. Mm-hmm. He's such a good coach and such a veteran, coach.
That's where I'm at. Just it's him or Rivera there for me. I think you could bet both. They're both very good numbers.
Yes.
And if the Bills roll over everyone, you could take McDermott. I think I've seen him around 14-16. That,
He could possibly
if you're
do
really
that.
in the market for that kind of stuff, you can also just wait till halfway through the year and really bet a lot of this stuff too. So
right, and some stuff. You may get better numbers. Also.
You see it all the time with these markets too. Sometimes there's a guy that's just kind of creeping
Oh, yeah.
and comes right back. We seen it this weekend even at the Tour Championship. I know this is a different sport, but Scotty Scheffler, once he opened up the 6-shot lead, live markets had him at -750.
Oh my goodness!
Yeah, he lost probably a lot of people money. That was oh, this is automatic.
Oh man,
Lost me money. I had a head-to-head with Rory.
Okay.
Rory
okay.
whooped his ass. So
you gotta love sports betting. Though.
And that's the thing. That's why we're here. We're gonna talk about NFL for the next few weeks. Not next few weeks. Every single week, we're gonna come here. We're gonna talk our shit. We're gonna talk about spreads we like for the week. I'm gonna give you locks of the week, key plays, because I'm gonna build parlays every week. I'm gonna play these primetime games. I'm gonna give you those bets. I'm gonna tell you what I'm betting. Follow me on Twitter, Little Dick Big Rich. Follow the pod, Fumbling the Bag pod, please.
Please
I'm
follow
here.
us.
Like, you
Yes.
know, just a follow. I hope my family doesn't watch this shit. That sucks. You go find something better to do with your time. But if you're a random guy, please, like, you know,
Tune in.
engage. Yeah, engage too. Like, I'll answer any questions. I know you will
yes.
too.
Yes,
We'll
I
open
will.
up your socials. I gotta make my Twitter not private anymore. That'll be a main thing. So.
Yes, and I am on Twitter. I'm probably going to change my name, though, because it's a little, I don't like it right now. But
I mean, mine's
I'll be
Little
on there.
Dick Big Rich.
Oh, that's
so
you?
That's literally it. It's Little Dick Big Rich. Yeah. So I mean, I know you have me on your socials. So
I got you.
But yeah, we'll leave it at that, man. I think that's a good place to leave it. Yeah, my favorite bets again: Chicago worst record in the league, 12-1. Josh Allen MVP 5-1, and I'm very much considering Philly under 9.5.
That's your best bets.
That's my best bets for this. So
I think mine's the Rams over.
I love that one too. That's that short list.
And I'll probably piggyback off of you on that Josh Allen.
Yeah, it's
I mean,
his
that's
time.
just a good
It's
bet.
his time.
I think it is
It's
his time. You know, either that or Tom Brady.
Yeah, I like exactly, and you could even go Aaron Rodgers if you really want to.
Oh, yeah, man. The
the
four-time
Magic
MVP,
Man,
yeah.
the Magic Man.
He's an
so,
asshole, but hey, he gets it done.
Gets it done,
in the
but
regular season.
yeah. In playoffs, no, we ain't even gonna go there because we really don't have time. We got a minute or two, but yeah, well, tune in. I'll try and have these released every Wednesday. I'll try and put some graphics if you're really into watching the video per se. On the other hand, I'm going to open up a Apple Podcast account, so if you want to, you know, get your podcast from there, go ahead. If you want to hear it, you know, on YouTube, if you're like me and you rip YouTube videos to listen to
too.
podcasts, you know, we'll have it there for you too. But for now, this is the Fumbling the Bag pod.
See you guys later.
We're signing off.